Hey, this is RC. I want to talk a little bit about how to be able to create this kind of effect that we wind up having here. Right now we have a picture that winds up having this kind of bordered effect, and if you wanted to be able to create this by yourself, here's a quick tutorial on how to be able to do just that. Now, let's take a look at this. If I go to the image size, you're going to notice that it's actually a 7x5 at 72 dpi. So I know that I'm going to need a canvas that's going to be that big. So let's just go ahead and close this. I'm going to go ahead and create a new canvas, 7x5, 72 dpi, and I'm going to call this canvas just Frosted Frames. And I'll click OK. Now, what I want to do from here is I'm going to go ahead and do an Alt-Delete or Option Backspace and fill it with my default foreground color. You have to make sure that the color is there, or you can just kind of do the edit, fill with black. Now, from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Command A or Control A to select all, and I'm going to grab my selection and I'm going to transform it. Holding down the Alt key or the Option key and the Shift key, I'll drag inward just a slight bit. Now, I held down the Option, Alt, and the Shift to be able to keep it proportional around the entire area. Now, once I have that selection, I'm going to go ahead and do a Command Delete or Control Backspace, and that's going to fill it with white. So now I have the basis for this mask. What I'll do from here is I'm going to go to Filter, and then I'm going to go to Filter Gallery. Now, take a look at this. This is where it gets cool. In here, once you wind up doing this, I'm going to throw these out. I always wind up starting with glass. Now, what you'll see here is when you wind up using this glass, let's just move somewhere else. Glass winds up kind of distorting the very, very edges of it. And then you can use this distortion to kind of bring it out and bring it in. If you use the smoothness, it really does wind up taking a lot of the specks out of the very, very edge of it. So play around with this to taste. Now, obviously, different images at different settings are going to require a little bit of playing around with these and scaling to be able to get kind of what you want. You can also play with the different types of textures that you can have there. So I like the frosted texture. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave it probably right there. Now, the cool part about it is that once you wind up using the glass as a foundation, you can come over here and just select a new effect layer. And if you put in something else, and say like stamp, you can play around with that and get different kinds of effects by just having kind of an effect on top of an effect on top of an effect. So it's a filter on top of a filter. Now, let's see here. Nothing. Light and dark balance. I think just a plain old glass is going to do it for me. So I'm going to trash that. And then I'm going to click OK. So now we have a border that we can use. Let's take a look here. I'm going to go inside of my layers panel, and inside of here I'm going to, actually I'm just going to put this over here, and I'm going to go and I'm going to open up another image, and the image I'm going to open up is the mountains image that I want to use for this. Try this out a little bit. Now, inside of this frames, the other panel that I'm going to want to use is this channels panel. I'm going to do a Command Shift, and I'm going to click on the RGB layer. It's going to load this as a selection. It's going to load the luminosity of this as a selection. I'll put this next to the layers panel here. And now, switching over to my rectangular marquee tool, notice if I put my cursor over this area, it's going to give me a move handle. Now, I'll single click and I'll drag. Notice that I'm dragging the selection. I'm going to hold on the Shift key, and I'm going to drag it over here to the mountains image. It's going to put it dead center. Now, once that's dead center, we'll go ahead and we'll unlock the background layer. Click OK there. And we'll go ahead and we'll create a mask. There's our border. Just for taste, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a solid color fill layer. And I'm going to make that fill layer a white color. Once I do that, I'll drag that under. Lo and behold, now we have a picture with an interesting frame that we've designed by just using filters in black and white in Photoshop. Now, I could have done this all on the same mountains layer, but perhaps I might want to use this type of a frame at a later time. Now I can just kind of go in and just do a file save, and I can just call that Frosted Frames. So if I ever want to come back to it, I can just open this up, again do a Command Shift, click on the channel, and then move it over to a new area. So, hope you enjoyed that. Name's RC. Talk to you soon.